In the rich tapestry of fantasy literature and lore, few creatures have garnered as much attention and evolved as remarkably as orcs. These formidable beings have carved their niche as iconic antagonists in countless tales, yet their origins and connections with other fantasy creatures remain enigmatic and multifaceted. Delve with us into the fascinating history of orcs and their intricate relationships with elves, trolls, goblins, and similar creatures that populate the realms of imagination. The earliest known appearance of orcs dates back to the epic poetry of medieval Europe. In Old English and Old Norse literature, the term orc referred to menacing and destructive creatures often associated with darkness and chaos. These early orcs, distinct from modern depictions, weren't exclusively fantasy creatures. They were used to describe real-world foes, especially in Viking sagas. However, it was through the works of J.R.R. Tolkien that orcs took their first steps into the realm of fantasy fiction. J.R.R. Tolkien's masterful Legendarium introduced orcs to the world in The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings trilogy. He envisioned them as a corrupted race, created by the Dark Lord Morgoth through the manipulation of captive elves. This connection with elves imbued orcs with a poignant depth, as they were once kin to the noble elven race. This intricate relationship added layers of tragedy to their malevolent nature, highlighting the blurred lines between good and evil. In Tolkien's world, the terms orcs and goblins were often used interchangeably. While orcs generally referred to the larger, more aggressive members of the species, goblins were smaller and cunning. This duality can be traced back to the various translations and interpretations of Tolkien's works. Both orcs and goblins were creations of Morgoth, drawing clear parallels with their shared origins. Trolls, although distinct in form, often appeared alongside orcs and goblins as allies of darkness. Over time, other fantasy creators adopted and adapted Tolkien's orcs into their own narratives, further evolving their characteristics. Orcs gradually transcended their purely villainous roles to become more complex entities. Writers explored their societal structures, cultures, and the conflicts that shaped their motivations. Some stories even depicted orcs as tragic anti-heroes, striving to escape the destiny imposed by their dark origins. In various mythologies and fantasy settings, connections between orcs and similar creatures like trolls, goblins, and ogres are often forged. These relationships can manifest as alliances born out of shared malevolence or antagonism stemming from territorial disputes. The distinctions between these creatures might blur, but they collectively contribute to the diverse ecosystem of fantasy worlds. The origins of orcs are a multifaceted journey through ancient mythologies, literary inspirations, and cultural interpretations. As these creatures have evolved over time, their relationships with elves, trolls, goblins, and similar beings have deepened, offering insights into the intricate interplay of light and darkness, beauty and brutality. Whether feared adversaries or complex anti-heroes, orcs continue to captivate our imagination, reminding us of the enduring power of mythical creatures to reflect the diverse facets of the human experience.